It's just a simple move for me, almost unrememberable. But he never forgot. Later, when he saw me and Gu-sun together, he took the initiative to give in. I pursed my lips. Why didn't you mention this at the beginning? You don't want to recall the difficulties of starting a business. I can understand. He shook his head and looked away. I don't think that the period of starting a business, like a stain, I always wanted to appear strong and flawless. In your eyes. I put my hand on his cheek. Turn your head and look at me. Then I hugged him slowly. He was always strong. No one is weak forever. And you at that time shaped who you are today. It's great that you've succeeded in starting a business. Really? I nodded vigorously. Really? I think you're cool and awesome. He thought for a while, greeting my gaze with a smile. Seems to be hooked on the air. Then came a fascinating voice that made people feel itchy. Consider making my position permanent. It's a good deal. You won't lose. My eyes are full of smiles. Then I guess I can only accept the difficulty. There's always someone showing up. When I'm covered in scars, my heart is in turmoil. Give me a chance not to lose the ability to love and be loved. He later said his throat was almost smoking that day. Fortunately, I like it. Story 2. The 5th year of my marriage to Gucci. His affair with a girl he had put up at a hotel. It was exposed. Everyone knew about it. Prevent her from being labeled as a third party. Guqing brought me the divorce documents and said, Teacher Jian helped me in the past. Before he died, he asked me to take care of him. Now that it's out, I can't ignore it. Over the years, Jean. In her previous life, she had always been Guqing's first choice. When I heard this, I was totally devastated, making a scene and refusing to divorce. Until I was diagnosed with severe depression. Na Guqing. Influenced by Jean, she said I didn't look sick anymore. In conclusion, I was faking it. Believe me, I tried to manipulate him and set a trap to accuse me of infidelity. He filed for divorce directly. That's when I realized I could never compete with someone he felt indebted to. In despair, I committed suicide. When I opened my eyes again, I signed the divorce agreement without hesitation. Chu Tang, after this matter is resolved, can we still remarry? I'm sitting, absent-mindedly, on the stone bench in the villa courtyard. Dangwin, accompanied by Jianxi, he came towards me. Just 3 hours ago, Jianxi was exposed by paparazzi. Maybe Gahan's lover. The entire internet is digging into her past. Curse her for being a home destroyer. Who broke into the sweet relationship between me and Guhan? Guhan's image as a loving husband completely collapsed. And Gu's stock price. The company began to fluctuate. In my previous life, when Guhan handed me the divorce papers, I am very angry. I picked all the roses. He planted it for me in the yard. Hysterically. Ask about his relationship with Jianxi. She's just a mentor's daughter. There are countless ways he could have handled the situation. But he chose to sacrifice me, just to prevent Jianxi's depression from getting worse. What Gahan didn't know was, during the time when this scandal was brewing, I was also diagnosed with moderate depression. Chu Tang, Guhan called me again. Let me go back to now. I bow my head. My eyes fell on the divorce papers. On the stone table. He knelt at my feet. He looked up at me with deep eyes. His warm palms wrapped around my hands. His tone was, Chu Tang, please help me do it. Okay, we will announce it to the public. Our marriage is dead in name only. Over a year. We have been planning a divorce. But I just haven't found the right time yet. I did not respond. Jianxi followed closely behind. A white dress. Gahan's jacket draped over his shoulders. Pale lips and red eye circles. Chu Tang, help me, she begged. My mother committed suicide due to depression, caused by cyberbullying. I don't want to follow in her footsteps. Sister, I kneel down for you. Please help me. As she was about to kneel, Guhan quickly stood up and helped her. Then he held her protectively in his arms. he said in a serious tone. What are you doing, Jean? She choked. Her voice was weak and sad. Then she lowered her tearful eyes. I just want you to relax, sister. Gu Han frowned impatiently. When he looked at me, the love in his eyes completely faded. Chu Tang, I'm not here to discuss this with you. I have decided this. If you don't want a divorce, don't blame me. I met his gaze calmly, and his next words came to an abrupt halt. But I know what he's going to say. He was about to say, Chu Tang, you know what I can do. I have a million ways to make you sign willingly. He is about to escalate to filing for divorce. You can't beat the Gu family's lawyers. This is his original words. In my previous life, and later, I was arranged to have sex with several men. The model reinforced my evidence of infidelity. Overnight, I was labeled a whore. Endure public ridicule. He and Jianxi, becoming an innocent victim. All signed. But you have to agree to one thing, I said. After a long silence, Gu Han looked up at me, nodding in agreement and handing me a pen. I took it and signed my name on the divorce papers, without any emotion. Don't you want to read the agreement? Gu Han asked. Frowning, I smiled and said, no need. He has almost nothing. He gave me all his property. All for Jianxi, a favor. Let's find some time to visit the Civil Affairs Bureau. Tomorrow, okay, I said. Gu Han's hand paused slightly when he held the divorce papers. His eyes looked confused for a moment, but in the end he said nothing. When they leave, Jianxi turned around and looked at me sarcastically. She said silently with her thin lips, you lose. I did lose. I lost my whole life, so now I don't want to lose it again. After a while, my phone lit up with a message from Gu Han. Today is too hard for you, Chu Tang. I'm sorry. When this is over, I will give you a grand wedding. We will remarry. I can't stand by and watch Jianxi's depression worsen. You understand. I couldn't help but laugh when I read his message. My eyes are filled with tears. I was like this in my previous life. Gu Han tried to force me to divorce, conspiring with friends while drunk. But he forgets that his friends are also my friends. Yuan Jian earnestly advised Guangong. Don't sacrifice your marriage for Jianxi. He also mediated me, trying to make me sympathize with Guan. Describes him as a very loyal person. At that time, it was Jianxi's father who saw Gu Han's potential. Invest in him and help him start a business. Without this, Gu Han wouldn't be where he is today. I cried and argued. Gu Han can clarify this matter in 1,000 different ways. So why does it have to lead to divorce? Yang Yuan was silent. He asked Gu Han, whoever said I had to disappoint someone? I can only let Chu Tang suffered because she loved me and understood me. Because I love him, I must be the sacrifice. What's the reason? Fortunately, I still have a chance. Whenever she talked about Jane, Gu Han always handles things very quickly. He just signed the divorce agreement with me. He arranged a press conference day and night. Asked his assistant to invite me to participate. Clarify things. I haven't spoken yet. I thought I would refuse. Fortunately, his assistant conveyed Gu Han's message to me. Ms. Tang Chu, you should attend this press conference. If it weren't for Mr. Gu, then for your own reputation, he said. I paused, then scoffed. Gu Han threatened me. He tried to use the same tactics from my past life. Push me into a corner. Tarnish my reputation. Let me struggle under public scrutiny. Finally, I surrendered. I never understand why. Does Gu Han really regard me as his wife or his enemy? Now he wants to publicly clarify our relationship. I am no exception. Press conference scheduled. In the most luxurious hotel lobby, located in the north of Beijing. The invitees are the most influential journalist in the industry. During the Jianxi period, he wore a long robe, appeared hand in hand with Gu Han. Reporters immediately swarmed in. Gu Han instinctively protected Jian. She is behind him. He smiled and blocked the microphone for her. Please wait. I will answer all your questions one by one. Can you make some space now? His voice is gentle. When he looked up, he saw me and there were reporters all around him. When our eyes met, I secretly hoped that Guhan can save me too. But the next second, he casually looked away. Smiling, she led Jianxi onto the stage. It's like he's never seen me. I smiled sarcastically. The reporter closest to me might be an intern. She timidly handed me the microphone and asked, Miss Tang Chu, are you really divorced from Mr. Gu? Yes, I smiled and nodded. The intern adjusted his glasses. But you and the man you knew in high school. Dating for 7 years, married for 5 years. Last month. Even spent a lot of money to buy you an island. Named after you. I continue to smile. But there is no joy in my eyes. This is what he owes me. Missed my birthday because I was taking care of a patient. Jianxi, this is a cosmetic gift. In my previous life, I was proud of this move. Later I found out that this was Jiang Yuan's idea. The island was chosen by Gahan's assistant. He didn't even know where the island was. Do you still love Mr. Go now? She looked at me nervously. The reporters around also quieted down. Even Guhan on the stage was looking at me. He frowned slightly. I just looked at him calmly and said, that's not the case anymore. The interview didn't last. After Gahan clarified, our marriage is already only a year ago. I left the scene. Overnight, I became a second-hand commodity that Guhan didn't want. And Jane, she, be the only an innocent victim in this public controversy. The interview was serialized on social media for several days. The topic is still hot, especially what Guhan said. Chu Tang and I planned to divorce a year ago. But the timing is wrong. We intend to handle this quietly. But now it has affected an innocent person. So we have no choice but to make a public clarification. Ms. Jane, she is not the destroyer of our relationship. She is the only person my teacher cares about in this world. It's only natural that I take care of her. I hope everyone can look at this matter rationally. Some fans were led to believe the reason why my relationship broke down with Guhan. I can't stand the pure feelings like brothers and sisters. I misunderstood their so-called good intentions. They also said I was narrow-minded and not generous enough, despite being married for 5 years. I don't know the loyalty of Guhan at all. And justice. This topic has been fermenting for several days. I became the target of public criticism. After receiving the divorce certificate from the Civil Affairs Bureau, Luhan stopped me. Don't take what is said online to heart. Soon everyone will forget. I stopped. I couldn't help but chuckle. I see you. Similar insults on social media. Why is there such a big difference? Chu Tang, the Chinese New Year is 2 months away. How about we get married early next year? He looked at me and was about to come closer, but I took a step back. My expression is indifferent. When I turned my eyes to the reporter, blocked by bodyguards. Not far. Gayan seems to realize that something is wrong. And stay where you are. Gayan, I want to go back to Port City. You haven't been back for a long time. It's good to be back. I'll pick you up for the new year. I won't be back, I said calmly, interrupting Gayan. His smile froze. There was a hint of confusion in his eyes. I went on to say that when I agreed to sign the divorce papers, you promised me one thing. It's time to make it happen. Guhan looked at me blankly. When I was reborn, it only took me a few seconds to accept it. Love and hate. I sympathize with Guhan. When I saw the divorce papers, I want to tear them apart and make a scene. But in the end, reason prevailed. After a while, I smiled. Guhan, I hope you won't appear in front of me again. Chu Tang finished with a smile. Then retreat into the crowd. Guhan is slow to respond. For a moment, he felt an inexplicable panic. It seemed like he was about to lose something very important. Just like Chaitan that day. Signed the divorce papers calmly. She felt a little uneasy, so she didn't make a fuss. She seemed to have foreseen all the consequences. Just Chu Tang caused a big incident because he forgot her birthday. She even slapped me. He thought it was a fake divorce. Tang Chu will go crazy and cause a commotion. He was even ready, but she wasn't. Pick up a pen. Her expression was as calm as dead water. That moment, he thought about stopping Chu Tang. But in the end, he did nothing. He thinks it's okay. Chu Tang loves him. This is just a fake divorce. He will make it up to her later. But the situation of Jianxi is different. She won't be hurt. If it weren't for Xi Jinping's father recognized his talent. Risk of being ousted by shareholders. Invest in his project, and helped him grow into one of the emerging elite. In the Gold Cup, he wouldn't have achieved the success he has today. He is not worthy of Jianxi. On the deathbed of Jin's father, he hopes Guhan will ensure Jianxi's life is safe. He doesn't want to be a treacherous villain. Jianyuan once asked him if one day, Jianxi and Chaitan both fell off the cliff, who will you save? He laughed and thought the question was ridiculous. He will save Jianxi, but he will die with Chaitan. Yuan Rong laughed with him, but then he asked himself, what if Chu Tang doesn't want to die? Guhan, you can't, just because Chu Tang likes you. Always taking her for granted. If she doesn't feel your love, she will be desperate. That day, he rejected. He never took these words to heart. I didn't expect it to come true in the end. At night, Guhan returned to the villa again. Since marrying him, Chu Tang has been living in a villa halfway up the mountain. She is an outstanding painter. At the age of 10, he was awarded the title of talented young artist for his otherworldly landscapes. Everyone feels her mastery of traditional Chinese painting very special, destined to excel in this field, and she did. Only after marriage. The style of painting in Chu Tang has changed. Not like before. Chu Tang's teacher tried to guide her. Do your best. But the impact is small. Eventually, Chu Tang gave up painting. Even refused to pick up the paintbrush. Lu Han enters Chu Tang's studio. He paused when he saw the landscape on the easel. This picture is very vivid, although it only took a few strokes to complete. When Mother Chen saw the lights in the studio were on, and noticed that Guhan, she was a little surprised and greeted him. Sir, Guhan raised his head. When did my wife draw it? Mother Chen responded. The day you and Miss Jane came back. Guhan nodded. A smile appeared on his face. He couldn't finish. After leaving the studio, he returned to the room he shared with Chu Tang. Remind yourself repeatedly. Their divorce is just an excuse. After the storm, he plans to propose to Chu Tang again and give her a grand wedding. But for some reason, he still felt empty inside. He refuted everything Chu Tang angrily said today that this is just nonsense. Their home is in Beijing North. How could she not come back? Knock, knock. The door of the master bedroom suddenly rang. Sitting at the foot of the bed, I looked up and saw Jianxi. She stood at the door in thin clothes. Her face flushed slightly, watching Guhan quietly. Why are you here, Jen? She pouted. I'm afraid of staying alone in a hotel. So I come to you. Really? She said, lowering her eyes. I hope I didn't disturb you. Guhan frowned slightly, but replied, It's okay. It's getting late. I'll ask Chen's mother. A room for you, he said, just about to call her. Gun-hee walks into the room. When she looked at Guhan, her eyes were gentle and pleading. Han, I don't want to stay in the guest room. Is it okay? She asked softly. Guhan frowned even deeper. He was about to refuse. But seeing her red eyes, he softened. When my plane landed in this city, it's Sinchu who came to pick me up. A few years ago, 18 years old. He saved a girl, but was falsely accused of assault. Sentenced to 3 years in prison. Have a criminal record. No company is willing to hire him. I met him at an art exhibition. He never interacts with others. Always keep your head down. If someone approaches him, he will avoid them. One night, when I was going home, I ran into some thugs and was almost attacked, but he happened to be passing by. I thought he would look on indifferently, but he didn't hesitate. I asked him that day, "What if I attack you too?" He just smiled bitterly. "Then I will accept." Under the influence of my family, I helped him clear his name. The day the truth came out, he stood in the distance, his eyes red. He looked at me and bowed in thanks. 3 years in prison did not erase his kindness. "My father, thank you for saving me," extending an olive branch, and arranged for him to join the company. Started from the bottom. He is now one of my father's most trusted assistants. "Miss, long time no see. Since you said you were wearing a windbreaker." I nodded as he picked up my suitcase. A strange sour taste on the tip of my nose. 5 years ago, I married Guhan and followed him north. When I had an accident, he was sent to country A by my father. Attend a closed training course. I never looked for you again until I died. "Miss, do you plan to leave again after you come back this time?" he asked me. I said, "No, I'm not leaving." Chu smiled. "Mr. Ju knows you're back. He is very happy." Suddenly, I felt a shock. My hands are tucked tightly in my pockets. My heart is filled with bitterness. Until then, my divorce with Guhan is already known to everyone. I'm worried I'll be wrong. My father flew from the port city to Jinbei overnight. He tried to convince me seriously. Guhan never thinks about things seriously. He chose to cooperate with the old man from the Jin family, instead of accepting your help. To put it nicely, he doesn't want to depend on you. But isn't he still dependent on someone? By accepting investment from Jan family. Shout, Ang, it's all over. Guhan is not suitable for you. He wants to take me back to the port city. But I refused, crying and insisting on staying. I said with tears in my eyes, I love Guhan. I don't want a divorce. Why should I sacrifice myself for his gratitude? Even if it costs my life, I will never leave. I'm not going anywhere. Eventually, my father became very upset with my stubbornness. He had a heart attack. He was rushed to the ICU. Received multiple critical illness notices. My mom's hair turned white overnight. When my father woke up, he said nothing. But I know he is disappointed in me. When my mom left, she still tried to convince me. Your father. I never interfered with any of your decisions over the years. But Guhan is not a good person. At that time, I couldn't hear anything and stubbornly continue my path of destruction. It took a lot for me to finally understand. I'm not that important to Guhan. Are they all okay? I asked Chu. Chu nodded. The group is developing well. Mr. Ju and his wife are also in good health. I met his cold gaze with a smile. Thank you, Chu. Thank you for being filial on my behalf. Chu shook his head. He said it was his duty. If it weren't for my father and I, at that time, he may have died in some forgotten corner a long time ago. On social media, hot topics continue to emerge. Jianxi is Guhan's mistress. Now it's become an accusation against me. Ruthless and ungrateful. Yesterday, the paparazzi took a photo of me and Chu daily at the airport. Now they say I had an affair a long time ago. This is why my relationship with Guhan broke down. When I lower my eyes, the photo sent by Jean is displayed on the phone screen. She is from a temporary account. Her photos. Overnight at the resort. Last night, Guhan asked me to stay. What do you think he will do tonight? Guhan is a very responsible person. Now the shackles are gone. Chu Tang, your husband is mine now. She tried to provoke me, but I was calm. Chu poured me a cup of tea and glanced at my phone screen anxiously. In a low voice, Miss, I will seek justice for the injustices you suffered. I didn't answer him, but asked. I heard your father introduced several outstanding young ladies. I hope you settle down. Why do you refuse? Chu seemed surprised by my question. He dropped his eyes. His fingertips rubbed the rim of the teacup. After a long silence, I asked again, is it because of me? He suddenly raised his head. Look at me. then look away guiltily. Although I haven't seen Chu for 5 years. Every year on my birthday I receive a generous gift from him. He squandered money. And from time to time, he transferred the money into my account. He gave me almost everything he earned. I refused many times, but he insisted. Finally, I called him for the first time. I lost my temper with him. I said, Chu, you saved me once, and I helped you once. It was your father who let you join the company. But you've made it this far on your own. You don't owe me anything. I am not your creditor. By doing this, you're only jeopardizing my marriage. Let Gahan misunderstand our relationship. You won't transfer money to me anymore. His gift was just a symbolic gesture. Since I tell you, you don't owe me anything. I just finished. You pursed your lips and said no. What? He looked at me. There was a smile on his lips. His face was calm. His eyes are full of love. I adore you, miss. I know I'm very different from you, miss. I never dared to hope that you would look back at me. But my heart belongs to you. I don't want to deceive myself. Or hinder others. As soon as Chu's voice disappeared, I looked at him quietly. He is the same age as me, but much more mature. When I first met him, he was timid and uncomfortable. Now he has become the pillar of the company. The person my father cares about most. Last night, when I returned to the old house, my father and I talked for a long time about the company's future. My future. Finally, he asked me 2 questions. The first question is, do you still like Guhan? I shook my head and gave a negative answer. But on the second question, I remained silent. He asked me, are you willing to marry Jianxi? My father is planning to retire. Although Jianxi has been with my father for many years, he is not from our family. I was a little confused at first, but now I have an answer too. Now, will you marry me? 2 days later in northern Beijing. Gahan sitting in the studio, looking at Chu Tang was interviewed by an intern. The intern asked her curiously, do you still love Mr. Gu? Chu Tang smiled and replied, no more. These 3 simple words, however, aroused an inexplicable depression in his heart. He played the video countless times, trying to find something in Chu Tang's eyes, but to no avail. He opened the chat with Chu Tang in frustration. Just realized the last message stopped when he reminded her. Obtaining a divorce certificate in the Civil Affairs Office. 9 o'clock. She simply replied, okay. Then there was nothing. Chu Tang used to stick to him. Share everything with him, no matter how big or small. He will respond promptly. He later looked through the records. Many times. This is just Chu Tang talking to himself. Occasionally, he would respond with a curt okay, or I know. The company is very busy. After teacher Jian passed away, Jianxi suffers from depression. He attempted suicide several times. He can't manage everything. Suddenly, Jiang Yuan sent a message. Chu Tang is getting married to Jianxi. Gu Han stood up suddenly, accidentally knocked over a nearby easel. He picked it up hastily. A medical report was pressed under the drawing board. He paused. When he finished reading all, his fingertips tremble. Patients exhibit severe mood swings, recurring suicidal thoughts. He suffers from severe sleep disorder. And evaluated. Make sure he has moderate depression tendency. That day he filed for a fake divorce. Said to Chu Tang, Brother Han, what happened? Hearing the commotion, rushing from the master bedroom to the studio. When she saw the medical examination report in Gu Han's hand, a glimmer of cunning light passed by her eyes. Jean, can I see this report? She asked quietly. Gu Han said nothing. I only feel recurring chest pain. She took the opportunity to grab the medical report, turned a few pages, then pretend to be relieved. Pat Gu Han on the shoulder to comfort him. Hanga, brother, don't worry. Have you forgotten? I have depression too. You've seen me in my fits. I met your sister the other day. She looks healthy and doesn't look sick at all. Maybe she was just too angry. and deceive you with false medical reports. Jianxi looked at Gu Han. Just as she was about to continue, Chu Han suppressed his emotions. I got the report back from her. He just took a few steps. When he thinks of something, then he turned to face her. You won't be staying in the master bedroom after tomorrow. If Chu Tang knew about this, he would definitely make a scene. As soon as he finished speaking, she stood there blankly. When she reacted and caught up with him, Brother Han, Gu Han has already gone downstairs. He was in such a hurry that he even forgot to bring his coat. Regardless of whether the medical report is true or false, no matter. Tang wants to marry Xin Chu. That moment, his only thought was to see Chu. Dawn took her home. Sinsa took our wedding very seriously. Personally oversee every detail. During the day, he would rush between companies and wedding venues. In the evening, he sat in the living room. A well-written invitation. Sinsu, you should let your assistant handle these things. You are already busy at work. There's no need to be so troublesome. I stood at the top of the stairs, cup in hand, and said, looking down at him in the living room. He put down his pen, smiled at me warmly and said, no matter what, I want the best for this lady. I know I may not be in that lady's heart, but she is the most important person in my heart. When our eyes met, I was stunned. For the first time in a long time, I felt a surge of emotion. Madam, don't feel burdened. Just be a beautiful bride. Sun Chu keeps smiling. His eyes no longer hide his feelings. Finally, I smiled and nodded. I didn't expect. Gu Han will find his own way. Go to Harbor City Judiciary Bureau. Sun Chu and I were about to come out. After trying on wedding dress, I saw Gu Han standing under the camphor tree opposite. He wore a simple white shirt. His hair is messy. His face was slightly pale. There's no light in his eyes. His eyes rested on the clasped hands of Synopsis and me. Wait a moment, then turn around and leave. Gu Han forced a smile and looked at me. Chu Tang, I'm here to take you home. Let's not wait. How about we go back and remarry until next year? As he spoke, he took a few steps towards us. Shinchu instinctively blocked me, but I stopped him. I helped him straighten his slightly crooked tie and said softly, wait for me in the car. I'll be back soon. Mom made your favorite dish tonight. Let's go home together later. Sinsahu looked down at me. He smiled and replied, okay. Then he glanced at Gu Han. Before heading to the garage, that moment, Gu Han and I are the only ones left on the roadside. He subconsciously moved closer to me, but I took a few cautious steps back and whispered, Mr. Gu, let's keep some distance. Otherwise, the paparazzi might catch us. Then there will be rumors about me on social media. Endless entanglement with ex-husband. Whenever. People always seem to be particularly harsh on women. The Jian incident is a typical example. Apparently, Gu Han is the indecisive party, from start to finish. But in the end, I've been accused of not being magnanimous enough. Chu Tang Gu Han's eyes were dim. The bitter smile does not reach the eyes. I have asked my assistant to handle the situation. On the platform. I'm sorry you suffered. I didn't know you were in so much trouble. I don't know, Gu Han. You know. I looked at him and said in a calm tone. If he doesn't know, public opinion can be so painful, frustrating. He won't divorce me to help Jianxi. In my previous life, I was framed, had affairs with multiple male models. After divorcing Gu Han, my reputation was ruined and my career was in tatters. Everyone laughs at me. Some people even question me. Shooting. After being ruined by my ex-husband, you still have the face to live. If it were me, I will jump from the 18th floor and then Mrs. Gua. Juan never really cared about her. Otherwise, how could he force her to death? Later, I lost sleep. Night after night. Sitting by the French window, looking at the lights of thousands of homes. I burned down my studio. Everything Gu Han gave me was also burned. As if I could get him out of my mind. I vented all the injustice I hated. Why did the boy who once filled my heart and eyes? It'll lead me into a dead end. I ended up committing suicide by slitting my wrists. To this day, I still remember the feeling of blood slowly flowing out of my body. Guhan opened his mouth to explain, but the words can't come out. Finally, I could only lower my head helplessly. Tang, I will make it up to you. I couldn't help laughing. I've heard it too many times before. After Jianxi's father passed away, Guhan's engagement party. As he left, he said, Chu Tang Jianxi is in some trouble. I need to see her. Wedding day. Jianxi attempts suicide again. After sending me back to the bridal chamber, he didn't come back all night. Then, I'm hesitant about whether to continue this relationship. But seeing Guhan's tired look, I held back. I love Guhan, so I'm willing to accompany him. After a hard time, every broken promise eventually turns into car candy. I will compensate you later. Guhan always thought we had a lifetime left, but he forgot that love will also dry up in the previous life, until the end. I don't know if I love Guhan anymore, or just obsessed. After a while, I said sarcastically, Guhan, in fact, I want very little. But you still can't care about me. I am also a baby that my parents cherish. Why should I let you trample on me? So let's just forget about it. When I finished speaking, I turned around and was about to leave, when Guhan grabbed my arm frantically. His tall body almost fell down. His pale, thin lips parted. I do not agree. Things can't end like this. You are my wife. You can't leave me. His voice trembled. Finally, I smiled and pulled my hand away. We are divorced, Guhan. He was forced. Demotion. The divorce papers you forced me to sign. Threatened to make me attend a press conference, clarifying the facts. And you looked at me going to the Civil Affairs Bureau, obtaining a divorce certificate. You did all this. You can't deny that, can you? Guhan was speechless. I need to leave. When he tried to follow me again, he nodded slightly in the direction behind him. Mr. Gu, actually, you and Ms. Jen are a perfect match. Guhan's face turned pale instantly. He arrived at Harbor City early in the morning. After the assistant found Tang Chu's schedule, he kept coming to her. However, when he saw her in her wedding dress, laugh and play with Sin Chu, he gradually slowed down. Standing under the camphor tree and watching, he couldn't remember the last time he saw Chu. Tang Yen smiles so freely. Every time we meet, they will end up fighting over the sword stone. And gradually, he doesn't come home anymore. Often stay overnight at the company, or drink all night with Jian Yuan and others. So at that moment, he was painfully aware. 9 characters. Mr. Tang said at the Civil Affairs Bureau that day. From her. She doesn't want him anymore. But he can't live without her. He stood outside the bridal shop. As long as the two of them are busy inside. He even thought about diving into the beets and chewing them. Warn him not to covet my wife. But in the end he failed to take the step. He was afraid, Jane, she would hate him. Brother Han, I haven't seen you for a long time. Jianxi tugged on Guhan's sleeve. Bring him back from his thoughts. He looked down at her. His voice. Why are you here? I heard my sister is going to marry someone else. I'm worried you'll be unhappy. So I came to see you, she whispered, about to embrace the ancient cold, when he frowned and put his hand on Jianxi's shoulder. In an instant, her eyes became wet. Brother Han, sister doesn't want you, I want. Let's get married, okay? Guhan never refused any of her requests. She thought that after Chu Tang divorced him, she could easily replace Mrs. Terry Go. But at that moment, Gohan's face suddenly turned cold. Jianxi, do you know what you are talking about? I know, Gohan. I like you. This is the first time she has expressed her feelings publicly. Guhan smiled bitterly. He smiled, but tears flowed down his face. Jiang Yuan has warned him countless times. Jianxi's look at you is disturbing. If you don't want your marriage to be ruined, better send her away. Guhan, you are blinded by the situation. Unable to see Jin's true intentions. Sending away Jianxi. Don't let her ruin your marriage. But he never believed. He really deserves it. Jianxi, unexpectedly, directed and performed scandalous acts. She hired someone to take photos of her and Guhan in and out of the hotel together. And then, buying cyber troops to spread rumors about herself. Become a third party. Social media in chaos. Guhan is under great pressure. He originally planned to send Jianxi abroad. But seeing the hot topics, he nearly strangled her on the side of the road. He asked her, "Why did you do this?" Initial. Jane. She tried to arouse his emotions. But when she was strangled and had difficulty breathing, she burst into laughter and openly admitted, "I just want to be Mrs. Gua forces Chu Tang to divorce you again, Guhan. If you really love Chu Tang, I won't stand a chance." Guhan was furious and vomited blood and fainted on the spot. Passers-by captured this scene and went viral on the internet. Gu Corporation's stock plummets and Guhan wakes up. Confused. He was immediately removed from his position as CEO. As for Jianxi, now shamed, she had no choice but to leave the country. Sorry. On the way to the airport, she was killed in a car accident. On my wedding day, because you gave me a grand wedding. A city decorated with flowers and fireworks all night long. Well known. When a guest joked about marrying Sin Che is my blessing from my previous life. Sin Che scoffed and kicked this person out of the wedding. He boldly declared under oath, "I am the son-in-law of the Chu family. In this life, I am a member of the Chu family. After I die, I will become a ghost of the Chu family. Because you know I may not love him completely, but his attitude towards me never wavered. On our wedding night, he hugged me tightly, as if afraid that I would leave or disappear. I didn't know until I pressed him. Guhan committed suicide. Before death, he was conscious and issued a medical report. Stay in his studio. Go to Qingzhou." He also wrote me a long letter. Every word is filled with regret. He also talked about a nightmare he had. In the dream, he forced me to divorce. When I refused to compromise, he planned to have me have sex with other men. Final. I slit my wrists in despair. He said it was in a dream, it wasn't intentional. He just wanted me to surrender. Never thought it would lead me to despair and death. He doesn't know my illness is real. He said if he knew, he would never treat me like that. His heart was broken when he saw the bathroom full of blood. I hope he's the one who died. The letter ends with, "Fortunately, what happened in the dream did not happen." There is another one. Sorry, I laughed. I threw the letter away and throw the medical report in the trash. Miss Xin Chu frowned slightly. I whispered, "Old Chu Tang is sick. But I am no longer that Chu Tang." After leaving him, my illness was cured. After a while, Sin Chu smiled helplessly, but affectionately. I looked at him and smiled too. Fortunately, I have nothing to lose in this life.